I may have a disability, but I am more than able to achieve my goals. Those are the words of our guest today, Jane Theuri, who is a force to reckon with. Welcome to Unscripted with me, Grace Salame, from our beautiful location that is Takeout Restaurant on Manyani Road here in Lavington. Welcome to the show. Hey, welcome to the show. Like I told you, with me today is an extraordinary lady. Jane, welcome to Unscripted.
Thank you so much, Grace.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
The pleasure is all mine.
Thanks for making time for us today. So I know I already said your name, but you can introduce yourself again to people at home. Tell them who you are and a little bit about yourself before we get into it.
My name is Jane Theuri. Okay. I'm the last born in a family of two.
Okay.
I come from Kiambu County in Limuru.
Okay.
I was born and bred, of course, in Limuru.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
That's a little bit about you.
Yeah, that's just
so we can,
in a nutshell.
Okay, in a nutshell.
Yes.
You can tell us, today you can also educate us a bit more and tell us about osteogenesis. Hope I pronounced it right.
Yes, you have.
How did it develop? Tell us more about it. Educate us.
Okay. Well, I was born with that condition.
Okay.
The condition is known as osteogenesis imperfecta,
Got it.
or rather OI.
OI.
If you're using the abbreviations,
Asante, you should have told me that.
Yes, OI. In layman's language, it's known as brittle bone disease.
I see.
So simply put, basically from the word brittle bone,
Yeah.
you're very fragile. So I was born with that condition. It's genetic.
I see.
So this is the me I've been used to all
This is
through
all
my
you've
life.
known all
Yes,
your life.
that's why I'm very confident in who I am.
You are.
Yes.
I
So
love it.
brittle bone, of course, it's caused by malformation of the bones, lack of calcium.
I see.
You know, when you're forming in the womb.
Yeah.
So that's simply what happened to me. Yes.
And how was life growing up with this condition?
It was
If you could highlight your
it was
childhood.
a tough journey
I can imagine.
because that entailed having fractures every other time.
I see.
So when I went to school,
Yeah.
there's never a time that would go by without me getting a fracture. So every time I used to have a cast on. Yes, I'll have broken bones.
Yeah.
So basically my journey was
painful,
just
no?
a fragile, yeah, it was a fragile one.
Yeah.
But thank God, if you go through corrective surgeries,
Okay.
yeah, because I have kids here, you can see, and I
see.
wear them with so much pride.
Good.
So once you go through corrective surgeries,
Yeah.
you're given a lot of calcium. You need to take a lot of calcium
I see.
supplements.
Okay.
Once you turn 18, the doctor tells you you'll be fine. No more
Really?
fractures.
So
Yeah.
you go through surgeries?
Yes.
And calcium for the period until you turn 18?
Yeah, you're
How many
supposed to take a
surgeries?
lot of calcium supplement because that is what lacks in your bones.
By a lot, how much is that? Because even us, we still have to take supplements. For you, how much is a lot?
Taking all, your diet has to include
A lot of
calcium
calcium
stuff,
plus
like
supplements.
taking a lot of milk.
Okay.
And my mom was really thorough on ensuring that I took the calcium supplements.
Of course.
So once you go through all the doctor tells you,
Yeah.
and your therapist and the corrective surgeries, you're good.
So how many surgeries did you need?
Oh my. Enough. I guess I lost track.
Yeah?
But luckily they used to do them at one, at a go.
Okay.
So I have like 4.
4?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
From childhood to 18, 4 surgeries.
Yeah.
If you could highlight, what were the hardest moments growing up?
The hardest moments, to be honest, was simply going through, a lot of pain. There was never at one time that I was like,
Not in pain.
any other regular kid. So your focus is more on healing every other time. You get a fracture, and I used to use a wheelchair. For the better part of my life, I was on a wheelchair.
I see.
So anytime you're on, someone is pulling your wheels
Yeah.
on a rough or bumpy, ground,
Yeah.
you get a fracture. That is how fragile I was. So you couldn't really engage with the other kids in
Yeah.
playing, You just there seated, and when you get that fracture, you're not able to concentrate on your studies.
I was going to ask,
So
yeah,
for
how
a
is
bit-
that affecting everything?
It really affected me. I was an average student.
I see.
Yes, but I outdid myself when I joined campus because I was stronger.
I
Because every other
see.
time my mind was just, concentrating on healing.
That's
and the
true.
pain.
The pain and the
Yeah,
healing.
so you're not able to concentrate on studies.
So campus was a bit different.
It was a whole lot of difference.
A whole different
Yeah,
world.
yeah.
But before even campus, you went to boarding school at 5 years old?
Yes, at 5.
I can't
in
imagine
nursery.
my 10-year-olds going, yeah, tell us about
Life situation.
Why did that happen?
Because, you know, if my mom had a choice, definitely I wouldn't have gone to a boarding school at that age.
Sure, yeah.
But now you see, because it's a condition you're born in. And then, you know, when you have house helps coming to take care of your kid, they realize they're not able to put
Anything
up
can
with this
happen.
kid.
Yeah.
So, and because my parents were, you know, really quite busy, you know, with career and all, we had to find a comfortable,
I see.
yeah, place
So
for
the
me
school
to.
was specific for your condition?
Not
special.
not for me.
Yeah.
My condition per se, for special kids.
For special kids.
Not special, persons with disabilities.
There you go.
Yeah, so it's a special school in Thika.
Okay.
It's known as J-Town Primary School, and they also have a secondary school, so I had to go all the way. After primary, I went to J-Town Secondary because I really wanted to go to Chania Girls, but the infrastructure could not accommodate me because most of the times I used to be on a wheelchair.
I see.
So the infrastructure was not accommodating
I see.
for persons, you know, with disabilities. Yeah.
But how was that experience, Joytown, for you?
The experience.
Yeah.
You know, I developed a tough skin at an early age, so it was a tumultuous one, but I managed.
You managed.
Because I had to cover life, you know, for myself.
That's true.
And I had to make sure that my parents would be like, you know, they really invested a lot in me.
Yeah.
And you know, that's what we really need. As persons with disabilities, you need parents to invest in you,
Got it.
especially in your education. So I had to put the effort that was needed to make a life out of, you know,
And
what I had.
And you've made an
Yes.
amazing
Yeah.
life for yourself.
Yeah.
And you made it all the way to university, despite of the challenges.
Yeah.
Tell us about university and how that was like.
So, my description of going to campus was just culture shock. So
Culture
it's someone who
shock.
has traveled abroad.
Why? What
Because you see now, I was really, like, I was used to persons with disabilities. You see now you've gone to a special school the whole entire time.
Yeah.
But at some point, I got used to regular people because our principal at that time decided to make that school an integrated one.
Okay.
Because he said it's not really fair to have just persons with disabilities alone. We can integrate the school.
All
So
right.
that's how I started getting used to people who are not like me. So once I joined campus, that's now it was a whole different experience because I had to learn to be with these people who are not like me.
Yeah.
And you know, people are like, they don't know how to treat you.
Yeah,
And
how
I
was
really
that?
don't blame them. It's simply because they're not used to someone like you.
Yeah.
So they need time to get used to someone like you.
Did they make it uncomfortable for you? Were there stairs, or how did they treat you in campus?
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
The stairs are quite too many, but once people get to know you and get to know your strengths and your weaknesses, you know, people don't have to, like, you know, the issue that really affects us is when people judge you on face value.
That's true.
When you look at me, Grace, you don't know what I'm all about.
That's
I might be, you know, physically challenged,
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean I can't do so much on my own.
That's
I'm a
true.
very independent person. So I made a lot of friends because I'm also a people person.
Okay.
Once people get used to you, they're like, oh, this one is just a regular person like us. So yeah, it took a while, but it's been quite a journey, but I enjoyed it.
You enjoyed
Yeah,
it?
and actually most of my friends are people who are okay, regular people.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
What did you study?
In campus, I did public relations and I minored in mass communication.
Oh, look at that.
And 2 years ago, I went back to school.
Yes, you
I did a
did.
master's in the UK. I was lucky
Well
to get a
done.
scholarship,
Well
a
done.
Commonwealth scholarship.
Yeah.
So I went to Scotland and did a master's in African studies. It's a social political science course.
As you finish this part, I have to ask you, what motivates you, Jane?
What motivates me?
Yeah.
The fact that I know so many people look up to me. I don't know why, but there's so many
don't know
ways
why?
that people are inspired by me. I don't know why, but
Indeed, you have a story.
I think I'm just out there living my life just like any other person. I don't think I'm extraordinary, but probably the things I do and, you know, my zeal to just, you know, to succeed in all aspects of life.
Okay.
That's what really, you know, I don't know. It makes people amazed about me. I don't know.
I think so.
And then I guess it also comes with my personality.
I see.
What you see is what you get. This is just me.
This is you.
And
What would you tell someone at home who is probably struggling with their reality and they don't know how to see past it and see a better future for themselves? What would you tell them today?
acceptance. It all starts with accepting what you are. We don't choose. We don't get to decide. It's like you don't decide which family you're born into, right?
That's true.
So whatever situation you're into, you just have to accept. It starts with that self-acceptance. And then for persons with disabilities, the acceptance from home as well. If your parents accept you and they're really proud of you and they make sure they take you to, all these social gatherings and all, it builds on your confidence.
That's true.
And you feel like any other person. So that's what really worked for me.
Fantastic.
Yeah, no one can weigh me down. It doesn't matter what you think. I know who I am is enough.
That's
I don't
true.
need to be anyone else.
That's true.
Yes.
On that note, we'll take a short break. See you in a bit. Welcome back. Jane, thanks for sharing your story with us. Now, on this part, I want to talk about your career journey. Quite a stellar one. Time to go into the job market. And immediately, you joined the Ministry of Interior and Coordination of National Government. How does that happen, even for a regular person? That is a feat. How did you do that?
Well, there's no magic or any formula. I just
There
applied for
isn't?
this job
Uh-huh.
like any other person. I remember there was an advert on the newspaper. So a friend just told me, I've seen like the government really needs administrators.
I see.
So why don't you try your luck? So I was like, I had nothing to lose. And at that time, it was in 2015.
Yeah.
I just left, I was at Barclays Bank,
I see.
as an intern.
Okay.
Then there was a position at that time, but I felt banking was not my thing. So I was like, let me just stay at home and wait for whatever else. So I was just told about this advert on the newspapers, and I was like, the only qualification is just a degree. All you need is a degree. So I was like, let me try my luck.
Okay.
So I applied online. I did all the needful. 2 weeks later, I was shortlisted.
Look at that.
But to be honest, I hadn't really expected to, get this job.
Really?
Because I had tried enough times,
So
I'm
before
like,
that, the job market, you had searched and looked around.
Yes,
Wasn't successful.
it wasn't.
I see.
Because most times it's just a formality. Persons with disabilities are encouraged to apply. Formality, you go for interviews and then,
But they
that's
don't
the end
hire
of
you.
it. So I was like,
see.
okay. My attitude was not really, I was like, okay, let me just try my luck. But I wasn't really pinning
not
down.
hopeful.
Yeah, I wasn't.
Really?
So you see how it worked.
So when it
I
happened?
least expected, I was
Yeah.
like, okay. So I was shortlisted, and my interview was 2 weeks later, 4:30 p.m.
Okay.
I'm not a morning person, so the interview really favored me.
Okay. So thank you for
yeah.
coming here today. We appreciate
Yeah,
you.
thank you. So that's how I ended up in the, working with the government. And that is one of the interviews that was really, I felt comfortable and,
Really?
Yeah, I was,
Out of all the others?
I was quite relaxed.
How come?
And I was just me. I said, what you see is what you get. So I'm just going to be me. I'm not going to try. It's like people rehearse for interviews.
Yes.
I was relaxed and I said, whatever I talk about, whatever I say as Jane, this is what you see and this is what you get.
I love that.
So it was one of the most relaxing interviews I've ever attended. And that was it for me.
That was it? That's how you got it?
Yeah.
What do you think is the lesson therein? Like you said,
The
we
lesson.
usually rehearse for situations in our life, whether it's a job interview,
Yeah.
relationship, or whatever. But if you come as you are, this is the outcome.
Yeah, I think most of the times there's that self-sabotage, I didn't feel, like I really was fit for this job. But it's simply because that kind of work was never really accommodative for persons with disabilities. Because, administrative work,
Yeah.
it really needs a lot of, moving around. You're basically most of the times in the field. But they were like, hey, it doesn't matter whether you have a disability or not. We trust that you can do this job
I love
as long as you have your brain. That's all you
great.
need. So it was quite a shocker, but here I am. 7
like
years later.
7 years later,
Yeah.
what do you love most about it?
Oh, the respect, the authority you command, When I wear that brown uniform,
Uh-huh.
it brings so much respect. Like people look at me and they like, how is someone like you in this, career?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the fact that, the salutations and everything, when you speak, you command so much authority.
That's true.
The public listens to you, you know. Yeah, they really believe in you. And I find fulfillment actually serving the public.
That's good.
Because like I told you, I'm a people person.
Yeah.
I like listening to people's problems and trying to offer solutions.
Okay.
But we're basically custodians of, you know, government, because I'm there to coordinate national government functions.
Okay.
Yeah.
You later transferred to Embu,
Yeah.
Huduma Center.
Yeah, my
What
first
was-
posting was in Limuru,
Uh-huh.
but then I was transferred in 2018
To Embu.
to manage Embu Huduma Center.
And how was that? Was that moment a great one for you? How was that experience?
It was a great one because actually it was the first time I had to move from home. And that is what I really was looking forward to.
You were? You felt ready?
Yeah, so I had to move
Okay.
miles away from Limuru all the way to Embu.
Yeah, that's a far.
Yeah, I didn't know how I was going to manage, but I really like it there.
You do.
And the challenges that comes with, you know, with a new title, you have a lot going on. So I love challenges.
Okay.
Yeah.
What has this experience taught you about yourself, or what are you learning about yourself?
There's a lot that I have to, you know, offer that I never thought, you know, I could.
Yeah.
But this position has really exposed me to a lot of opportunities.
Okay.
People look up to you with their, you know, problems and so much more. So it has really put me, you know, at a place where I'm more able to bring input, you know, in people's lives and all that. Yeah.
Speaking of hearing people's problems, from your experience, what is the overriding or the magnified issues you feel like Kenyans are facing, and how can a difference be made? How can you make a difference in people's lives, you feel?
Basically, the difference that I feel I make while at Huduma Center is basically making sure that, you know, we try to change the notion, the narrative that government, you know,
Does not work.
I know.
They do not deliver.
Yeah, when you know, as a customer, when you walk into a Huduma Center,
Yeah.
we are very customer centric, you know, we customer focus, you know.
Yeah.
While you work at Huduma Center, you've gone through a lot of, you know, customer service relations and all that. So we try to change the narrative about how you just walk into a government office, someone is probably rude to you. You know, we are very keen to listening to what a customer needs.
Good.
And there's no one time that, as a customer, whenever you walk into a Huduma Center, you have to be served, regardless of what time you walk in to the, you know.
That's true.
Yeah,
I've had
like
good
other
experience.
government offices.
That's true.
So I'm really glad that we are trying to change the narrative,
Okay.
and I make sure my team is, you know, like doing the best they can to just make sure that our customers are satisfied. When they walk out of our center, they feel so much satisfied.
Okay.
So yeah, I feel good changing the narrative, you know, evolving the
you.
government services.
And it's during your time there that you decided to go back to school and do the master.
Yeah,
Yes, tell us about how that happened. And what
I've been really needing to do a master's, but procrastination is just, you know, evil.
gets the best of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, 2 years ago, yeah, I have a friend who has a disability as well, who works with an organization called Leonard Cheshire. It's a UK-based organization. So she told me that this time Commonwealth are considering persons with disabilities. So why don't you try your luck? Because all these years, of course, I've been, you know, I know the Commonwealth scholarship is there, but I don't know whether
Yeah.
it accommodates people like me. So
Okay.
persons with disabilities were really encouraged to apply.
Okay.
So I tried my luck, and because they were trying to look at what exactly you have to offer, they were not really looking at the academics, you know, what something else you have extraordinary, you know, as an extraordinary person. So
Alright.
thankfully for the KBC program, Able's differently,
Great.
I was able to tell them what I do, you know, basically trying to demystify issues to do with persons with disabilities.
Okay.
So that actually
That was the it
propelled
factor
me.
for
It
you.
was the it and the administration work that I do.
And how was the experience now moving to, because you had to stay there?
Yeah,
you went
for
to
a
the
year,
UK
for
for
a-
a year.
for a
Yeah,
year,
how was
for a
that experience? First, Limuru to Embu, now all the way to another country, different weather, different people.
Yeah.
How was that experience for you?
I remember my mom was really hesitant.
She was
like,
worried,
no,
huh?
do you really have to go?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, if you don't want me to go, then pay for my master's, then I won't have to go.
That's a good trade.
Yeah, so I just told her I felt I needed that exposure,
Okay.
because exposure is really important, you know.
That's true.
It's good to travel, if you get the chance
True.
to experience what other people do. So the experience was, in the beginning, the culture shock, of course. You know, the Western world are not really people who are just into your business, not really,
Yeah.
yeah,
Really
gives
cares.
attention to you. So I was like, I'm the people person.
Yeah.
Wherever I am, I'm given so much attention. But there you are, like, everyone is just going about their business. No one really notices you're there.
Yeah.
So the culture shock, it got the best of me. But after a while, I adjusted.
Okay.
And I really learned a lot. And I think we have a lot to borrow from the Western world in terms of how the systems work here.
Okay.
And yeah, to just make
So
sure
you learned
that,
some things for you, for your work,
Yeah.
career-wise. Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah. So it was a learning experience.
It was a learning
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
I feel like I probably could have asked you earlier, but what keeps fueling you to go after your dreams? I feel like for you, there's no
Yeah.
glass ceiling. Like you keep going.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
gives you that fuel?
The fact that I know everyone was born into this world for a purpose. So I know every day I'm living my purpose.
I like how you said your purpose.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you know what yours is?
Yeah.
What is it?
Just seeing people happy.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's simple and genuine. It's that genuine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you happy?
Yeah. But every happy person has, of course, things that, are not really working as they should, but I'm a happy person.
You're a happy person. Tell me about, as you finish this part, what is the vision you have for yourself? I feel like you've achieved a lot. And this next part, we'll talk about how your TV career started. But what is the vision for yourself as Jane, with everything you're achieving?
My vision. I've always told the people that, know me, my circles know that I have to make a principal secretary in this government.
A principal
Yeah,
secretary.
so watch this
That's
space.
the goal.
Yes.
Watch this space, she said. It's coming.
Principal secretary.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Why so? Why do you feel the desire for that?
Because I don't really admire when, persons with disabilities are more into politics. I believe in, people like giving me a position on merit basis,
Of course.
So I don't want any favors. I've never really wanted to, to be given favors in my life.
Okay.
Because like any other person,
And to work for it.
yeah, I'm a go-getter. I'm very aggressive, and I
tell.
know as long as I'm given a chance, I'm able to excel like any other person. So on merit-based and performance, of course, I know I'm going to make that. Yeah, I'm going to sit on that seat. Yeah, and so far we only have one principal secretary who has a disability, and she's a woman, Joseph Tamukobe.
Okay.
So I'm like, I really look up to her, and I have to be the second principal secretary who has a disability.
I love that.
Yes.
May it be so.
Amen. Thank you.
Amen. What do you hope to achieve when you get that seat? What do you want to do for the people? How do you want to serve the people?
I would really want to make a lot of changes when it comes to persons with disabilities, because I feel once persons with disabilities, most of us, when we get this opportunity, or we don't really do much in terms of changing how things work for us. How the system runs, and what favors us, what accommodates us. So I would really want to change a lot for us, but entirely, of course, for every other Kenyan citizen. But I would majorly focus on, changing everything about persons with disabilities, because, like I've told you, the exposure I got in the UK taught me a lot. We have a long way to go. Yeah, we are doing something, but we have a lot to do.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would like to fill that gap.
Great. We'll take a short break. When we come back, you'll tell us more about what you feel the society needs, to accommodate people, persons of disability, and how you plan to change that. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. Jane, asante sana. Before the break, you're talking about how when you do get that seat that you're going to, by God's grace, sit on, what are the issues that society needs to be aware of, persons of disability? What gaps, need to be addressed either by us, a regular person, people in your position, or higher office? What are the issues you face that we need to get to?
what really, okay, from experience, what really affects persons with disabilities is just the attitude that people have towards disability. And especially in Africa, you know, the African context is like,
You feel like it's worse here?
yeah, it's worse because when they see disability, they start thinking about, you know, those
Curses,
witchcraft. Yeah, they don't really tend to, you know, they don't
It's not
understand that
uneducated.
it's a condition like any
is.
other. Like I told you, my condition is genetic.
Yeah.
So what does my genetic, you know, my genes have to do with witchcraft? You see, so I really feel like people need to be educated a lot about disability. And it should actually happen, you know, it starts with the regular people.
That's
because you, Grace, as a parent,
Yeah.
when your kids grow up and probably you have, you know, your kids, you know, get attracted to someone who has a disability, you see, from the parents' level,
Yeah.
they would not
There should
really
be that
accept that
awareness.
person. Yeah, so they
But if
end
there's
up
awareness,
rejecting that person
I hear
because
you.
that person has a disability. They'll be like, you're not a good match for my kids, my daughters, you see. So it all starts from us as people, because there's no way we're going to expect people who are in positions of power to change the attitude that people have.
That's
you
true.
see? So it has
starts
to
with
be, it
us.
starts with us. So it's simply getting to understand that disability is just a condition
That's
like
true.
any other. And you can live with it comfortably.
Yep.
And it doesn't mean that you're not going to excel in other facets of life.
That's
So it's
true.
simply changing our attitude towards
And I
disability.
I feel like even changing that attitude should start with basic humanity.
Yeah.
Like just the way you love your neighbor. Imagine let's all just love each
Yeah.
other. Because even there's more compassion and
Yeah.
understanding. But what other issues in terms of even accessibility do we have? Maneuvering around, you know, in the city, in the country.
That's
How's
the
experience?
biggest challenge we have.
I can imagine.
Because in terms of infrastructure, even in the transport system, you know, I know so many people with disabilities who use a wheelchair, you know.
Yeah.
When this public means, you know, when they go to a, you know, to get to board a matatu or something like that, most drivers would just look at them and they'll be like, no, we're not going to, we're not going to, you know,
Because for them, they're thinking they're losing out on a seat carrying their
yes,
other.
they have
It's
to
terrible.
lift that person, to airlift that person, then
That goes back to
you
humanity.
see,
Just
humanity.
love that person. And
Yeah. So I think in terms of infrastructure, people might really want to accommodate us, but they're not able to. Because you see, our transport system, it really needs a lot, you know, we really need to change a lot. Because while I was in the UK, like, accessibility is
it was
very
much easier for you.
much
wasn't it?
easier.
Yeah.
You just, you know, you board a bus or train or whatever. It's really accommodative. It has enough space. They have a ramp if they see someone using a wheelchair. Even mothers with kids who have prams.
Yeah.
There's just a ramp
Yeah.
that, you know, is just, you know, like availed to you, and you're able to access,
maneuver.
you know, to maneuver around. And the buses are very spacious,
Yeah.
so you feel accommodated. But now you see, in terms of just making sure that infrastructure-wise, we are able to.
We have a way to go there.
We have a way. Yeah, we have a long way.
And for you, as a center manager, we have 52 centers.
Yeah.
You're the only one with a disability. First of all, how is that? Does that motivate you? Does it challenge you? And with that position, what do you feel? What can you do for the people with disability?
It's really motivating for me to be actually
I'm sure.
the only person with disability serving as an administrator in
Yeah.
the Huduma centers. And I think that it's also challenging because, you know, at first I know obviously people looked at me and they were like, is she going to be able to manage the center on a day-to-day basis? Is she going to manage? But now you see, like I told you, the only thing people need is just to have persons with disabilities coming to them or probably working with them. And then from that, they are able to learn that there's so much we can do. So in terms of infrastructure, you know, Huduma centers are quite accommodative.
Okay.
All Huduma centers have ramps.
Good.
They have disability accessible washrooms.
Okay.
We have wheelchairs on standby, so that in case we have, you know, a customer who has a disability or any other regular customer that needs, you know,
you can cater to them.
so we have all that, which of course favors persons with disabilities.
Well done.
So from the Huduma centers level, they're really doing a lot. And you know, of course, working with someone who has a disability, who is there, you know, when you're there,
you ensure some things are implemented.
Yeah, and they're also able to see that this person has a disability.
Yeah.
She's one of our managers here, so we need to make that place accommodative for
I
her.
love it.
So it all starts from us being visible. Yeah, the visibility part.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we really need
And I
as
hope
persons
that-
with disabilities.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hope that trickles down, to other places of work.
Yeah.
Because that's necessary. And
Yeah.
it gives you the motivation.
Yes.
And others walking in and seeing you in that position.
Yeah.
I'm sure it motivates them.
Very much.
What would you tell someone at home now, a person of disability, who is probably struggling, whether it's to find work or just in their society, it's not easy? What would you tell them today? How would you encourage them?
I would simply say go for it. Like I said, all you need is just, to have that self-acceptance.
Okay.
Be self, that acceptance really works to build on your confidence,
Yeah.
your self-esteem, so that even if someone came to you, trying to pin you down or weighing down on you, it will not get to you because it's just someone who is, different. But we're all human beings.
That's true.
We just have a different mechanism of doing what we have to do, just like any other person. So just learn how to accept what you have and you'll be fine. And then also you need to be a bit aggressive. Don't just sit, wallow,
Wallow in
self-pity party. I'm not about pity party. Like I told you, I don't need favors.
Nice.
I know I'm capable of achieving whatever
Super.
I want in life. So you need to be aggressive. Make sure that whenever there's you hear of any opportunities that
Go
are
for it.
there, go for it.
Yeah.
Don't hide yourself back there at home. But also we need to have a very strong support system because, like I said, it starts from your home.
That's true.
If your parents are the type that hide your kid, you hide your children because they have a disability, that means you're
It
not going to.
affects their confidence.
Yeah, and you don't expose them
Yeah.
when you're going for gatherings and all that, simply because you don't want people to, ridicule you.
questions,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it all starts from the home. Your
Okay.
parents have to be really proud of the children they have with disabilities,
Of course.
and make sure that they integrate with other persons out there. So that's the only way you can be able to get to know when opportunities are there that are meant for you.
Now, speaking of going for it, tell us about TV, this TV world that you're also part of. How did your TV show come to be? It's called Able Differently.
Yeah, able differently.
Tell us about it.
It started in 2013 when I was in campus.
Okay. Because you did mass communication,
yeah.
didn't you? Yes.
Yeah. So while I was campus, I had come to, I had gone to one of the classes in town.
Okay.
Because my campus is in Limuru.
All right.
But there was a class that really meant I had to come all the way to Nairobi. So that's how I met with this wonderful producer who used to work with KBC at the time.
Okay.
She's called Jackie.
Okay.
Jackie Lidubu. So when she saw me, she was like, oh, this is it. Because she just told me about the concept, the idea she had about, coming up with a program for persons with disabilities.
Okay.
To actually be a first in our local channels. We've never had a program that focused on persons with disabilities entirely.
That's true.
So that idea, that concept, when she saw me, she wanted me to come on board to actually work with her as one of the the presenters, sorry, to actually work as one of the presenters.
Okay.
Because it's entirely meant to be, presented by persons with disabilities,
Okay.
none other. So that's how it came to be.
Just like that?
I was brought on board.
Okay.
So,
was it a
yeah.
desire for you? Were you nervous about it? How did you feel about it? You were sold instantly.
It was a shocker because I never, I've never seen any person with disability on screen.
That's true.
It's not really favorable for us. So it was a shocker, but I was really, I was excited.
Good.
So I was like, yeah, I'm going to be seen on TV, and not behind the scenes.
Okay.
My face was going to be there. My name is Jane Theory every Sunday, presenting a program to, talking to people out there.
Yeah.
I was really excited.
Okay.
But, I needed time because media, being on TV is not easy.
It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
being
if you have
camera
the
shy and all
passion.
that, but I was really passionate about that.
Okay.
Yeah, and just trying to talk to people out there and making sure that, at the end of the day, people are looking up to me, This is someone who has a disability and she's here.
Yeah.
And I'm just there, trying to demystify disability, trying to encourage people out there to,
Okay.
go for it. So it has really touched lives.
Good.
And I'm really glad. And so many opportunities have come to me
From
because of
it.
the program.
Really?
Yeah.
We thank God.
Yeah.
What kind of, if you could share some feedback that you've gotten from people like yourself or others, what have you heard? What have you received?
From being on that program,
Yeah.
in that program, people are really inspired. I keep getting DMs on my Facebook and all that.
Good.
We never miss, an episode every Sunday.
Yeah.
We really feel inspired by you. So people come to me with their problems. At times when you're seen on TV, people are like, oh, this person can offer solutions to our problems.
That's
I
true.
feel how, I
That's
can
true.
feel what
You
you people go
identify?
through. Go
Yeah.
through. So at times I never ignore anyone's message, any DMs.
bless
I
you.
just trying to reason out with people and advise where I can.
Okay.
And most people are actually parents with persons with children with
I
disabilities,
see.
asking
Some
how they can
guidance.
access whatever facilities that are there for us.
Okay.
So I really feel good when I advise them. And
I
at the
love
end
it.
of the day, they give you feedback like, yeah, we are grateful we got the help we needed.
Okay.
So I'm really glad that I'm touching lives.
You've just mentioned people reaching out with their issues and their problems.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I'm seeing, from where I'm sitting, you seem like a very, very strong lady. So two things.
Mm-hmm.
Just for people to feel they can relate.
Yeah.
Have you had moments where I'm done, I'm tired, I've given up, or this is difficult? And if you have, in those moments, how did you overcome?
Trust me, Grace, we all go through that.
Okay.
No one is strong 100%.
True.
In as much as people look up to you, when you go back to your house, your home, and you look at yourself in the mirror, you're like, what do people really see? But at the end of the day, you need to put a brave face because, people are looking up to you.
Yeah.
And like I told you, it gives me fulfillment. So I'm really glad that I'm able to touch lives and try to change people's perceptions on so many things.
What causes those low moments?
Low moments.
Yeah, for you.
That is basically about my social life.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, things to do with social life. Nothing major.
Nothing major. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm glad that it's nothing major.
it's nothing major.
Great. So as we finish, what can you tell people at home? What are your last words, parting shot? What can people expect from Jane? What next?
I think I would like to be a mystery.
You'd like to
I
be a
don't want
mystery?
people to know what exactly to expect from me,
All right.
but they should just watch this space because, like I said, it's a learning experience.
True.
Today you take up on a different challenge.
True.
So probably people didn't, think that Jane will be in this situation or she'll be here doing something,
Yeah.
Like I don't like being predictable. I just like people to watch this space.
I like
And
that.
wherever life takes me, that's where I'll head. Wherever I go,
And you will
yeah,
thrive.
I'll thrive.
I think
And
that's
people
a
will get to
lesson.
know about it.
I think so. I think for you, wherever you bloom, wherever
Yeah,
you're placed,
yeah.
you will definitely
Yeah, I'll
thrive.
bloom wherever I'm placed.
There you
Yeah, I'm
go.
ready to take on any challenge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
and
you.
the worst disability ever is just the attitude.
Okay.
I keep insisting, emphasizing on the attitude that people have. We just need to change our attitudes and try to look at things in a different way.
Okay.
Yeah, and we'll be fine.
And life will be fine. It's perspective, isn't it?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. Thank you for being an inspiration. Keep at it. We'll be
Thank you.
watching this space to see what next.
Yes, you should.
Thank you so much. And to you at home for watching, Asante Sana, as always, we appreciate your time and your feedback. Until next week, take care of yourselves. Go after it. Go for it.
Yeah, please do.
Yes, please do. God bless you. Take care. And thank you to our lovely location. That is Takeout on Manani Road in Lavington. Until next week,